Yesterday I got some weird vibes from people in the world around me, and it started off with like Google Maps like taking me someplace, and that wasn't how you get to that place. It was all like it was something else. And but because I went that way, I found some stuff I wouldn't have found if it would have taken me the correct way. I found like a back alley street that had like I don't know, 50 metal shops. Like they had maybe 100. They had like metal shirts, and they had a green leather biker jacket with spikes on it, and it had Misfits on the back, which ain't too bad. But it was just like this neon green. It was awesome. And then like the whole store just had like spiked leather jackets, and then they had like I was gonna buy the Killer shirt right away, but they didn't have it in my size, which is a good thing because this was like the first store I ran across, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna get this shirt for like the third time in my life, and yeah, so. And you know what? Now that I think of it, why would I get it for the third time in my life? Because I still have the second one in there. It's just cut up and ready to use for the gym. So I didn't even think of that. I was just going to buy another one. Because I don't have long sleeves on that, and I need something to grab the sweat when I'm wearing like a suit. I can't have the sweat, getting all on the inside of my coat and stuff. So it's a good thing that they didn't have that in my size too. It's another one of those little anomalies that, like, I'm noticing these little anomalies appear, and it's like sometimes like I get pissed off when I get told no and stuff. Like I got a real bad habit. Like I don't have a fuse. Some people have a short fuse. It's like I don't have a fuse. If you just bring the fire close to the explosive, it goes off. And like I'm working on that, right? And it really, I don't know if it's always been like that, but I've definitely improved it. Maybe it's always been that way, and I've like, I guess looking back as a kid, like I really had to freaking like work on that. I remember as a kid, like that's why I'm not like other guys where they like to get in fist fights and stuff, and I'm like, well, no one needs their head bashed open today, so let's not do this. And I learned that as like a little child. No one needs stabbed. No one needs their skull busted open. Let's try to put a fuse on this explosive and make it a real slow burning fuse too. That way you got like an hour to get away if something happens. But so like several things like that actually happened yesterday too, where like if I would have like had my normal no fuse explosion, and I kind of did. Like at one point, I was getting like upset. I was like, "Man, am I getting pushed around? What for?" And even still, at the end of the day, I had to use pesos and not my credit card, and I didn't want to use up my pesos because the conversion rate is much more using pesos than the credit card. But anyways. Whole bunch of crazy stuff happened. And the last video I posted, I think it was the last video, it was where I was showing you like the Mexican City thing. Okay, so like right before that video, I was like, the reason why I was on the edge there is because first of all, I climbed up to the top of that mall, and the theater was right behind me where I was about to see Matrix 4. And then technically it's like past Matrix 4, so it's called Matrix 4 Revolution or something like that. I forget. It's the new one that's out right now on Christmas 2021. Revelations, I think. I think there's already Matrix Revolution. I forget all the names of them. But anyways, like the reason why I was there on the edge is because like I was like, looking for a high place to jump from for a long time. And like when I like went over there and did that, this pigeon like flew out and then back to where it was, like to get my attention and stuff, almost. And you can see in the video I posted at the very like not just at the very start, but in several other positions, the pigeons like right up to the left, up in the area. And then I go in and I like watch the movie, and like the same thing happens to Keanu Reeves in the movie. He's like on the edge, like thinking, should I jump and stuff? And a pigeon of pretty much the same color there, the same multicolors. I think some people think pigeons are all white. I know I used to. But I don't know if I've even seen a white pigeon. I've seen like one white pigeon maybe. And like the same thing happened, like the bird like flew out and stuff, and he was like, can I do that and stuff? Like he was already going to jump, like that's why he's near the edge most likely. And like there was actually several times in that movie where he was like, jumping, but that time, that wasn't like the only thing that happened. And that whole day was filled with weird stuff. And then like in the next, I don't know, in like the first 15 minutes of the film, like a bunch of stuff happened that was like happening in my life and stuff. Like there was stuff I was doing in the theater that he did like right after I did it in the theater, and it was really weird. And I've seen this stuff for a long time now, and it's not just like crazy stuff. It's like I'm seeing this stuff. Like you can see the pigeon in that video and stuff, and there's a reason why I was over there at that edge, and it wasn't because I want to take cool scenery pictures and stuff like that necessarily, right? And the video began like 10 minutes after I was over there for a reason. So there was just a whole bunch of weird stuff. And then I swear I seen one of the other people too, who I've seen several times when I was coming out of the garage. And he just happened to be like standing right over on the edge when I was like walking down, and like no one else is in the garage walking around except for me and an armed guard with like a MP5 or something. And he wanted to know what I was doing for sure. That's always nice being asked what you're doing by people like that. Yeah, and like he reminded me of someone else, and like that's weird because at the same time in the Matrix movie too, like one of the people who was like Neo's helper, like was like a female version of this person, looked just like him. And so I was thinking of that person too when I left the building. And I'm trying to figure out, it's like when I'm thinking of stuff, it's like appearing in the world, right? Like, is that what's happening? Like when I have thoughts, like it's like manifesting in the world around me. I think. I don't. How does that work if it's like an entire freaking movie and stuff like that millions and billions of people are going to see, and was supposedly produced like last spring or something? How does that work? Like the other stuff, it's easy to be like, wow, well, I'm actually like seeing that, and that's only involving like 100 people, and only like 1,000 people are going to know that, or maybe only 1 or 2 people know or see that. Maybe only I see it sometimes. And the dude even like threw up some, little hand sign and stuff when he did that. Because I went back and asked him, like, after, like, the guard let me out, because he was like, what are you doing walking around here and stuff? And I'm sure that's what he was saying in Mexican. And I was just like, I don't have a car, because, like, I'm the only person, apparently, who walks out of the parking garage, or in it, to get to the theater, because I couldn't figure out how to get there. People were, like, acting weird and telling me I couldn't get to the theater through the mall entry, and I'm like, okay, well, I mean, when in Mexico, you gotta do what they do in Mexico, so whatever. And that was one of those weird things where I first started like feeling like really really odd about like situations around me, and like they were kind of laughing when they said that too. The people I talked to, and then they're like the people working there, and they're like, we don't know how to get into the theater, and I'm like, what are you talking about? It says it's right here. It says it's on the map. It's the biggest theater in Mexico City, maybe, and it's not here. You don't know how to get in there, and they kind of like would laugh at me and stuff. And that like kind of set the mood for the day for me. I mean, walking through that little area with the metal stuff was something else as well. But that like set the mood for like, I was starting to get a little like, heated and stuff, because it's like, are they like laughing at me, and they know where the theater is, and they're not telling me where like how to get there and stuff, because it didn't make sense. There wasn't an entrance. Anyways, I that's why I like walked out of the parking garage. And so when I did that, like I like turned around after a minute, and I noticed that dude who looked like the Jovi Val guy I know, and I met at that Free Press event in Washington D.C. first. And they're part of that media. One of you guys in my comments told me to go see that media, and then that's why I posted a video saying, there's this person who looks like me in this video. And, like I was just saying, hey, I'm not in D.C. right now. And that was like a month before the invasion of the Capitol, too. So, I looked back and I noticed that dude was there, too. And he was like standing there, and I didn't know that like the guard was right beside him, or I probably would not have came back. So I turned around and I go back to him, and I'm like, dude, I was like, do I know you? Like you look very familiar. And as he's like telling me no, he's all like doing this and stuff. And it's like, why? Like, do you know what you're doing? Like, are you aware of what you're doing? Is there something else controlling the people here? They don't... Yeah, I wonder sometimes if it's me, because a lot of this stuff, like, it definitely, like, looks like it's me sometimes. And, I mean, how does some of that stuff happen so fast and rapidly sometimes, if it's not just, like, me, like, mentally projecting thoughts into the world, and they appear in the physical world, the real world, whatever. But it's definitely happening. And man, after like 15 minutes of like seeing things in that movie, I just stopped paying attention and like tried to like watch the movie and not